Sometimes we find great analogies in the simplest things, and I think I found a great way to look at life using Google Chrome tabs. So, a bit of context first. Inside your computer, there are a lot of different components, but there are two that I want to tell you about today. The first one is the CPU, which stands for the Central Processing Unit. It's like the brain of your computer and controls how fast your computer runs. The second one is called RAM. So RAM is short-term memory, and everything that is currently open on your computer is stored here. Now, the reason I've actually told you this is because we can use the computer components to model our brain. You can visualize the CPU as the mental resources that your brain has to perform daily tasks. And RAM is like your focus or attention span. It's the number of thoughts that your brain can think about at once. Alright, now back to the analogy. We've probably all had times when our browser windows look something like this. When we have this many tabs open, each tab is vying for resources to keep its content running in the background. This means that the RAM has to be divided between all the tasks. Remember, RAM is like our focus or attention span, and the Chrome tabs are like the thoughts floating around in our brain. The more thoughts that are occupying your brain, the more your focus is going to be split between tasks. The same thing happens with the CPU. It has to flick between all the random processes going on in the background, so there is less processing power available for each tab. In the same way, your mental resources become split between these thoughts, and your ability to act on any one thought will plummet. Just like a computer, the brain has a finite amount of capacity, so they both have to prioritize and divide their resources. You might have noticed this when you sit down to perform a mentally demanding task, but you just can't seem to concentrate because your brain is ruminating on something else. And that happens because you simply have too many Chrome tabs open. Now, one difference between your brain and a computer is that a computer is actually much better at dealing with multiple processes at once. That means that on your computer, you can have multiple tabs open before you notice any significant performance decrease. But in your brain, focus and performance will decrease exponentially with each additional thought that is floating around. But in your brain, focus and performance will decrease exponentially with each extra thought that you have to juggle in your mind. And this is actually one of the biggest reasons why most people are unproductive and procrastinate for hours on end. If you only have one thought in your brain, your productivity and success will skyrocket. Because just like having only one Chrome tab open, 100% of your focus, attention, and mental resources can be channeled towards that one thought. And in an era where everyone's mind is overflowing with random thoughts because of TikTok and Instagram, this is how you separate yourself from the 99%. So what can you do to start clearing out the Chrome tabs in your brain? One of the easiest things that I found that significantly reduced my mental clutter was to take out my phone and write a note to myself whenever I had an insightful thought. I literally have a page on my phone called Action Steps, where I write down a bunch of thoughts that I think will be useful for me to take action on in the future. I do this because our short-term memory is very short, about 15 to 30 seconds to be exact. That means that if I don't write that thought down, it will probably vanish after 30 seconds. And even if I do somehow manage to hold on to that thought by reminding myself every few seconds, my focus will be entirely diverted towards trying not to forget it. And in this situation, performing any other mentally demanding tasks will become pretty much impossible. Now, another even more powerful tool is meditation. If writing down your thoughts on a note app is like closing the Chrome tabs one by one, meditation is like pressing X on the entire browser. Meditation is the art of clearing out all your thoughts and centralizing your focus on one specific thing. Often, this is your breath. Doing this will provide you with a blank slate from which you can start to develop your thoughts again in a more organized manner. Your mind is easily your most valuable resource. Yet most people don't invest as much time into organizing and caring for it as they should. It's a powerful but vulnerable place, so you should guard what enters it very carefully. Most of the time, the thoughts that we have daily govern the outcome of our lives. Having the least amount of thoughts occupy your brain will shield you from the barrage of destructive thoughts that may come your way, and it will let you take advantage of the constructive ones.